Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Darcy. Yeah, weird eyes. What do you mean? Well, that's no good. We'll have to redo our intro. What is that? How about now? Wait, how about now?
Hello?
Yeah, I see
Hello,
you.
can you hear me?
I see you.
Right, and I hear me. Excellent.
You'll just have
Now
to
we can
redo your
start.
good mornings.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jeffrey.
I don't, I don't know why OBS has so much problems with like just remembering the settings for the mics.
Yeah, just just remember.
Just remember.
Yep. I'm excited for another wonderful day. Wonderful show. Are you?
I need more facial expressions. I want
Who,
to do
me? Are you?
the
No.
I was trying to
Yeah.
do like I don't know kind of face. Like an eek face, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. Yep.
Off
I mean,
to
I
a
do know,
killer
but
start.
yep.
Killer start. Start recording. Yeah, we haven't used that in a while. Yeah, we could. Let's start recording. Maybe someday we'll do some video editing.
Yeah, that would be fun. No. I mean, maybe. We'll find out in the future. Future selves will know. Yep.
Future selves will know. No,
Hmm.
all the YouTubers have their own editors. So there must be people that go around editing for people.
There's a
Like
couple influencers that well, at least one that I know of that doesn't, that I follow, but she went to school for editing, so that's actually why she started doing it, because she enjoyed it, so she would make her own videos so that she could edit them and do
why
fun
don't you go
things.
to school for editing?
Hmm? Why don't I?
Yeah, we should. Let's send you to school for editing.
I don't want to go back to school. I just went back. I've been
You're
back
like,
to
I don't
school a
want to
lot
go
sooner
back to
than you.
school.
I don't. I feel like it's really important and that everybody should do it if they want. Um, but it is hard. And
No, it's not.
man,
School's easy.
see, that's why that's another thing that makes it so difficult is I am bad at taking tests and all the other things that happen in school. And then I am also, especially at university, and then you're with people like you. And they're all like, "Oh, I
School's
heard
easy.
one time this thing, this like really complicated thing, and I can totally apply it to whatever." And, it's real frustrating. And I'm like, I have studied this and I still don't get it. Or I think I get it and I don't. I don't know. It's very frustrating. I don't even want to imagine what it's like when I'm in my 40s. It was bad enough in my 30s going through it. And all the like being that much older than my teachers now.
Oh
I don't
man, that'd be funny. You're older than the teachers.
I was older than a couple of my teachers at
I
university.
wasn't. My
Yeah.
teachers were all old, like 40s and 50s, or
Old.
60s actually. Yeah, we're old. I was just
Yeah.
having this conversation with somebody else. They were, the lady was over, just over 50. And I was like, oh, I'm close to you. She's like, no, you're not. I was like, well, we're only like 6 years apart or 5 years. No, 6 years, something to that effect. But I was like, yeah, we're pretty close. Once you get old, everybody's the same. She's like, you haven't broke 50 yet, so I don't count you as old. I was like, fair enough, fair enough. So, but I
Yeah,
mean, I
I'll
don't
take
feel
it.
old, and that's what she was also saying. She was saying that she didn't feel old, but
Unless you walk too far.
what do you mean?
Or
I walk far.
you do. When I
Okay.
walk too far, I feel very old. I'm like walk like all hunched over for the first like 10 steps. Like walking it off.
Oops, I didn't want to open that. Yeah, I could walk. Like, uh, Miwa and I, we went and just did I don't know, we walked like just spur of the moment, like 15 miles or something like
What?
that one day. 10 miles, at least 10 miles. I forget what my grandma said, how far it was.
That's
Because
pure insanity.
grandma was telling me that it was like her normal walk is only, not only, it's pretty far. It's like 3 miles.
That's a
So
good walk.
yeah, that's I'm not at all
That's a
knocking
good
it.
walk.
It's a long walk. It's further than I walk on a normal basis. But then I was like, oh yeah, I remember when I walked into town
Yeah.
with Miwa. She's like, that's far. That was crazy. I was like, yeah, my feet were a little sore because I didn't have walking shoes on. I just had like my normal outdoor boot things on.
Oh, yeah. No. That's I don't know. I used to do that all the time. I used to walk
When
a
you were
ton
younger.
when I was younger. Yeah.
Since now
Actually
you're an
before
old lady.
yeah. Ah, when I was young. No, all the way until I moved to Florida. It's just there's really nowhere to I mean, I walk and run and stuff through the neighborhood and stuff, but I don't like go anywhere. I didn't drive for a really long time. And then when I went back to school, I couldn't afford get that much gas, so I would do a lot of walking. Be like, you know what? This bus is getting a little too crowded. What's a 5 mile hike home with my backpack? Done.
Yeah, I don't even know how far. Like when I lived in Boston, that's a walking city. You
Yeah.
don't drive. I mean, we walked all over the place. Like for lunch, man, did we walk far. We
Yeah,
went on
well,
so many
it's your
adventures.
only it's your only choice because yeah, like what by the time you find a parking spot, you're like, wow, that was like what, half a block closer than I was parked prior.
Well, we'd park also. I rode a lot with my friend Eva, and now she did splurge quite often and parked at the Hard Rock parking garage, which was like $1 million a day. And so,
Right.
and that was just like right next to our office. But I always encouraged her to go to the cheaper ones. And then whenever I drove in or I rode with my other friend, um, she also parked, we parked
At the
across the
cheaper spots.
bridge and walked. It was like a 2 mile walk
Yeah, it's totally worth it.
in the rain to,
Yep.
to only pay $15 instead of $35.
Jeez. Holy smokes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's 2 days of parking.
yeah, it
Wow.
was. I mean, yeah. The
Yeah,
Hard
pure
Rock was.
insanity.
I wonder what it is now. Hmm. Let's see.
Yeah,
I'll
when
look
I
that
lived
up.
in Portland, I didn't even have a car. I was like, I had my bike, I had a bus pass, and my trucks. I didn't start wearing, I was in my 20s still, so I didn't know about, you know,
There,
wearing
let's.
comfortable shoes. I was like, I have to look cool. Um,
That is, that's hilarious.
yeah. And I did. Nothing looks cooler than seeing some girl walking around. It was, it, one day I would take the bus and at because I work graveyard and the bus would drop me off like a mile and a half or so from my work is the closest I could get at that time. So I remember I was walking to work one day and I had like my backpack with like my work shoes and everything I needed for work because it was, I couldn't walk that far in my work shoes. Anyway, um, somebody pulled up one time and asked me if I needed help and that they knew some shelters and stuff around town. And I'm like, I'm actually on my way. This is what I look like in my everyday life. But I have a home and a job. It was really sweet, and it was like also gave me pause. Like, what am I doing?
Did they tear down that parking garage? They
They
might
were
have.
like, we can build a more expensive one. Yeah.
Oh, look. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna share with everybody. It's funny.
Yeah.
Let's see. Are we sharing? Yeah. Okay, cool. So, I used to work right over here. I think
I
that's
don't
it.
see your mouse. Oh,
Uh,
you're just zooming in over here.
right over
Gotcha.
here, like in the center, I guess. State Street, and then right underneath. We worked above the Black Rose, or I guess they got another bar, the Ginger Man. Huh. I know they had two. Is Hong Kong still there? I don't see it.
I don't know.
It was on the back side of our block, I think.
Are those prices the parking lots?
Yeah, but look how far. That's why they don't. Where this pin is, this yellow pin or orangish pin, I don't know, what maize colored pin.
Oh, okay.
That's where the Hard Rock parking garage. It's where the Hard Rock Cafe actually is.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not showing. Uh, whatchamacallit, they're not showing a parking there, so that's why I'm like, must not be parking there anymore. So then, let's just use that pin, because that was on the backside, more or less the backside of our block. We used to park way over here, across this bridge, over down here somewhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's like, it's only went up $5, so it's only $20 now, but it might have even been 10. I don't know how expensive it was. But
That's
yeah,
totally worth it. Yeah.
yeah, and we'd have to walk all the way, and then you'd cross the bridge, and then you'd come all the way over to work.
Mm.
But yeah, $38 isn't even close. Like this one, I think this one had a lot of these had like early bird specials. So if you got in by 8:30, but then it wasn't just getting in. You got to hope that they're not closed either,
Mhm.
because once they fill up, they close down. But yeah, it's a little bit more nowadays. Not too bad. But yeah,
Hmm.
I loved working down here. This was the best place to work. And the company was pretty good too. I liked working for that company. It
Never
was a good
worked.
it was a good group, a lot of good friends, a lot of nice people.
Nice.
Everybody everybody was pretty cool. And it was really cool because it was a pretty large company, and then we owned the building. So like every floor
Oh,
was
nice.
different departments. Um, except for like the top floor, they rented that out to some lawyers or something. Um, but and then we had a rooftop patio too that we could go eat on, which then
That
overlooked
sounds nice.
the water.
You just like when it's nice out, you just go up
Oh
there
yeah,
and
for
have a
sure.
nice meal.
Yeah, we
Well,
ate up there
your lunch
often. Yep. Yeah, when we were
doesn't
allowed, and
unnecessarily
we ate up there when we weren't allowed to.
rule breakers.
Kinda, not really. And just
Yeah,
the rule is for some people, not for others.
I think that's okay.
I don't know who it was for, but it wasn't for us. I think
No,
they even
that's
had a party one time up there. Not like a party party, but it was like a company event.
I never. That would I don't know. That would be cool. I've never worked anywhere that had like a rooftop place. I mean, when you and I worked
Oh,
together,
never fix
um,
this.
the office in Tampa was the closest to
That
like
was a nice
working
office
downtown.
too. I'm not knocking
Yep,
that one at all either.
yep. It was nice. That's the only thing but you can't really compare Boston and Tampa as
A
far
little
as like
different.
working in in a town or a city. And like, yeah, the only other time I did work in downtown Portland for a month or so. But I was phone, uh, answering the phone, recharging people's phone cards. So that was a lame job. But we did have a pool table, so it was something fun to do. Anyway,
I gotta fix our camera. There we go. You can keep talking. We didn't do the tabs. We skipped a step.
I saw that. I was like, ooh, New Year's cats,
New Year,
hedgehogs.
leap year cats.
Yep. Yummy. I don't know why I said yummy. It just came out. I'm like, I really have been like extra not 100% lately. So
I'm a potato.
I'll just be a potato.
That one is so funny.
I know that
It
one's
gets me
my
every
favorite.
time.
But what else while you're doing that? Anything? I'm trying to think of something fun to talk about.
Yeah, you're
But
gonna make me carry a conversation while I'm trying
while
to.
you're well, no, actually, when I said it, I was talking to myself, and I figured it was better than silence. But then, as I said it, I was like, "Oh, you're gonna think that I'm talking to you."
Yeah, of course.
Understandably,
Like
it makes
our
perfect sense. There's only two of us here with microphones.
yeah, our limited
Patricia's
chat
here
today.
though, huh?
Oh yay! That's who
Yep.
our lone viewer was. Or there was somebody being sneaky. I wasn't talking for a minute.
Yeah.
Good morning, Patricia. She's
Good
got
morning,
just a
Patricia.
cue.
Yep.
Is that like I got a
You to
question?
you.
Question. You know, one of those people that do. Question. Are you guys really like all together today? No.
Yeah. No,
Answer's no.
not even close.
All right, now
Not
I'm gonna have to
even
go
close.
into fancy stuff, I think.
I do want to bring up again, you and I have been talking about this a lot this week, but I finally put up my new treadmill, my under desk treadmill. And I used it every day this week, which was about 3 times more than I thought I would. Oh, not sure what happened. Nobody knows what's happening. It's a mystery.
nobody's
And that's
nobody's
okay.
got it going on today.
No, that's okay though.
I was wondering, can
This
I
is how we're bringing
pause?
in the new year. Pause what?
Like our
The show?
like no, like OBS from changing frames, because now I gotta go in and I
Mm.
gotta adjust this.
Whoa. Too much. Not it.
Oh, one more. I got one more right here. There we go. Everybody gets to see behind the scenes. There we go. Now we're all good.
Look at that. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but my
different.
treadmill. It's awesome.
Of course.
I like it.
You recommended it.
Of course. I know. I know. I still need to reach out to the guy that inspired me to tell you about it.
Your sister got
But
one too, right?
yeah, and my sister got one. Yeah, because you were talking about how much you loved it, and while I was talking to her, so she got one, and then I finally did. So what? It's been like 3 months or something
Yeah, I
since
use
you
mine
got
all the
yours.
time. All the time, every day for I would say minimum an hour.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
I don't.
barefoot too.
Oh, I haven't done it barefoot. I've been using my slippers.
Mm.
But I think I need to upgrade to some good shoes
Yeah.
because my hips are not happy. But it makes me do yoga, and that that feels nice. I mean stretches. Excuse.
It's only a one-sided conversation. I walked away from my microphone.
Oh, you turd. That's okay. No, it's totally understandable. I would have done the same thing, but for some reason I don't know. My headset probably should have been good enough, but I
All
don't know.
right, now they can hear me again.
Yep.
Yeah, the fancy mic isn't wireless.
Huh.
And I
Yep.
feel all professional when I use the fancy mic.
Yep, as you should.
Except for I don't have it on a good boom. So I
Mm.
think I'm picking up a little extra interference. I don't think they can hear it, but oh, Craig's pretending to work. But that's our
Ah,
channel, pretending to do things.
yep. We should totally change the name. Or like we'll say pretending to program for something serious. Or this channel's called Pretending to Do Things.
I wonder if we can get that domain name.
I hope so.
Let's see.
With that feels more in line with what we do here.
Mm, where are you at? Well, pretend. That's a long name too. Yeah, it's gonna be available. No, oh, it is. It is available. Why aren't they giving me at a penny for the first year? That's a ripoff. They're like,
Yeah.
that's a good name. Pretending to do thing. Pretending do things. Pretending to
That's
things.
pretendings to do things. Yeah,
That's so funny.
it's a good one.
It is. Yeah, I helped my cousin set up her website and stuff. And so we were
Nice.
looking for domain names and things like that. And it's just funny, like all the different variations that they give you off of yours. And so,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
she did 3 years, and they gave her the first year for a penny. I was
Hmm.
like, what the heck? But,
Yeah, maybe you should be searching incognito. They're like, we know you.
yeah, they do.
You're not logged in, but we know you, sir.
Yeah, I gave up one of our other ones recently. I
Mm.
didn't pay for pretending to crypto.
Ah,
Not that I didn't want to. Or not that I didn't want to keep it. I just didn't want to pay for it
that's fair.
because they wanted like $40 for it or something. And I was like,
What?
eh. Yeah, I was like, what the heck are you trying to
You
charge
can
me?
keep
Upcharge
it.
me just because I had crypto in the name?
Mm.
Mm. Yeah. Yep. Oh, we lost somebody? Our secret viewer quit. They're just chit chatting
Showing
too
that we have
much.
free. Yeah. They're like, we're not learning anything here. I'm out
Yeah,
of
we
here.
actually have a really good show today.
We do.
I was kind of excited about our articles.
Yeah, I am. I didn't read any of them.
No.
I just read the title and I was like, yes, I want to learn more about this, please.
I can get rid of this hard rock parking. This is messing me up on the end of the tabs. I was like, why are you? We still got that. All right. Yeah, we can get into it. Anybody want to learn about leap years and daydreaming and willpower and teeth and ant
Oh,
faces?
I love tea.
You love teeth?
Yeah.
Like, are you like the tooth fairy or something?
No, I like mine. I like other people's. I think I mean,
I haven't
they're
had
good.
good luck with. I mean, like my teeth have been healthy, but when I had an impacted tooth, and then the dentist missed it when I was a kid. You know, back in the day when
Hmm.
you had to go
When they
to.
didn't care about kids.
Yeah, they didn't care about your teeth. They didn't give you like 8 million X-rays.
Yeah, every time you go. Jeez. Well, not every time, but
Every other. It's every 2 times.
every two. Is it?
Yep.
No wonder it feels like every time.
So once a year, you get it once a year. If you're going, like, you go twice a year, or do you only go once a year?
No, I have to go every 3 months.
Every three
I go
months. Oh, so you do every three.
through.
Yeah, they tried to get me on that plan, but then they didn't.
Well, I hadn't gone in a very long time.
Think you love
And
teeth?
I love
You're a
teeth,
poser.
and I love going to the dentist. There was
I know, it feels so
zero
good.
excuse. It was honestly the hardest part was just because we only had one car. Like logistically, it just made it really difficult to make plans because I was like, okay, if I need the car, then I have to take Rick to work and then I can have it. But then I also have to pick him up. And it was like, well, do I want to take a whole day off? And just the stress of that was too much, so it kept pushing it off. And I mean, it's just it's a lamest excuse. So, anyways, I had to do deep cleaning. I still have all my teeth, and they are healthy. I had no cavities, um, but I had to get a deep cleaning, and um,
Sorry.
that's bad for your gums and
It's like,
stuff. So yeah, I had to go. I have to go a lot to make sure that all my gums get healthy and stuff, and then I can start going twice a year. But anyways, I was supposed to go in November, and I have to reschedule because all my insurance changed, and my dentist
you're
is
so
an
funny.
hour away now. I know.
You were supposed,
It's
like, you're the one that's like sitting here promoting you love teeth, and then
I
you're like, yeah,
do.
I skipped my
And then I
last
still
appointment.
do.
I gotta reschedule it.
I know. Well, my problem with that is I love my dental hygienist. She's amazing. Um, and but that dentist is an hour away. It was right by my old house. And so now like
An
a
hour,
30
it's
minute
not that
dentist
far.
appointment's like 2.5 hours. Yeah, but it's a 2.5 hour chunk out of the middle of my day. So it's
Why
like,
don't
do
you
I want to
schedule
work
it
in
first
this
thing in
case?
the morning, right when they open? Then it is only half
Because
of that time
yeah,
out of your day.
yeah. No, I know. It's a lot though.
Oh, you're killing me here.
But
I'm
yeah.
still just mainly laughing because of the fact that you said you love teeth and you got all these like
I never go.
excuses like, yeah, you never go. Now, I
I
said
know.
I love teeth and I can't remember the
Go
last time I
always.
missed an appointment twice a year.
I
But
know.
something that I laugh at Craig about is he talks about his dentist and the deep cleaning. I was like, I thought that was just a him thing and his dentist trying to get a little more money out of him. But then now you're saying there's this deep clean. I'm like, I've never heard of this. Like,
Yeah, it's because it
what's
goes
different?
enough.
What's different between a normal cleaning and a deep cleaning?
A deep cleaning is when you don't floss very well. You don't go to the dentist often enough, and you'll get buildup under
Hmm.
your gums, and it actually starts to make bi bigger pockets
Hmm.
in your gums, and so it goes down further. So you have to get like this, you usually have to get numbed because,
Really?
they really have to get in there. Um, and it's usually like a two separate day process where they do like one side of your mouth and then the other. Because it's like painful. You usually, it's sore. It's sore. Um, and then those pockets take a while to heal back up. So for me, it was about a year. Um, and if you go too long, you can lose your teeth because the pockets get so big that your teeth get loose in there and then they'll fall out. So yeah, it's not something that, and I don't know. It's tough on your teeth and on your gums, the deep cleaning too. So if your dentist is doing it all the time, if you go regularly and all that stuff. But yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just not, and like I said, I mean, I think this was my third time having to get it because of how, I mean, I didn't have insurance for years. So,
He's like, no, that's not what I was talking about. That's
oh,
not.
he's like, no, it's totally different. I take much better care of my teeth than Darcy does. Yeah,
Oh,
I
it's a
worked minimum wage.
burn.
Yeah, I didn't have insurance at most of my jobs um, until I was in my 30s, late
He's
30s.
like,
So,
no, they just charge me a bunch of money.
oh,
They don't
jeez.
do deep cleanings. They just charge
Yeah.
450.
The,
That's crazy
there's
amounts too.
deep pocket cleanings.
Deep pocket cleaning. It's not a teeth cleaning, it's a wallet cleaning. Bank account. How much money you got in your bank account? Let's see what
Yeah.
we can charge here.
Yeah, we can take a percentage of that. That's fine. That works for us.
Yeah,
No.
I am a little spoiled too because the I have part of our tribal medical facilities is the dentist, and so they give it to you for free even if you don't have insurance. They're more strict
Hmm.
about it these days because I guess a bunch of people didn't carry insurance on purpose, but
Gotcha.
because you gotta like file for Medicaid, you gotta basically get denied on a bunch of things before they'll cover it for free now.
Mm.
But yeah, it's a super nice like dental facility. Well, it's part of our overall medical building, but yeah, our things are pretty nice there. So,
Yeah.
and the lady, I get the same lady every time. I don't know if I'm gonna give her a higher level than dental hygienist just because she does like training and goes to conferences and speaks and stuff like that. And yeah, I really enjoy having her clean because she talks to me for. I like. It sucks because you gotta respond, but she usually has pretty interesting conversations because she tells me about the dental profession and all the different things that they're doing, the different technologies that they have going on. It's
Nice.
it's
That's so
also a good
cool.
learning.
Yeah.
So I like her. I like my dentist lady now, or the dental hygienist, because they still have to call in the dentist to do the
Yeah.
5-second inspection.
I know.
That always cracks me up because we have a few different ones. I think we might only have, no, we might have 2 still. But I've had the same dentist come over the last couple times. And yeah, it's just so funny. It's always cracked me up throughout the whole history of having my teeth, where it's like they just come poke on your teeth for like 5 seconds and they're like, yep, it's either good, or they tell you something that they're concerned about.
Mhm.
And then they just walk away and it's like, huh. And you had to go to more schooling than the other person that's in there, like doing all the work, all the
Yeah.
x-rays, all the,
All the work.
like just all of it. It's funny. And I don't think dentists start out as dental hygienists, so it's like they never even had to do the work. But they
Ye-
do the serious stuff,
Yeah.
like with the teeth pulling and like
Well, it's funny
reconfiguring
because
and
the
everything.
second time when I went in for the second deep cleaning, because like I said, it was 2 sessions. So the second time I went in, so they do shots, because it's so painful on the top. It's really like because it's more sensitive, um, and otherwise they just use like the topical cream. And so I got there a little early because I needed to do it at the end of the day, and they're like, "Well, get a little bit early because to do the shots, I need the dentist here to prescribe it. Like he needs to see that you're here and then prescribe it, and then I it's still the hygienist that does everything. The dentist needed to be there. Well, they left early, so I was just like, you know what? Let's go for it. Let's just do the other stuff. Um, I was like, seriously? He doesn't even need to do anything. He just needs to actually be here before you can give me that. And then
He
they
needs to
left.
unlock the cabinet with his
Yep.
special key, his dentist
Yeah.
key.
There's a tooth on it.
Yep, that's exactly what I
Is this
was
from
like.
the last person that tried to get into this cabinet when I wasn't here?
Knocked out their tooth or pulled it when they weren't
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
Yeah, we can.
Should we get some coffee really quick and then get into
What do
it?
you mean? I
Or
just got
just need
coffee.
like well, I just need like a quick break or
Quick
you can.
break. We haven't even started. We're already taking a break. We're only like
We've been on
40
for
minutes in
21
or
full
something.
minutes. Oh no, we've been on
We
we've been
started
on
at
for a
like
minute.
8:15ish.
35 was 35 minutes and 20 seconds.
Oh yeah, there is a timer somewhere.
Hmm.
I
I
guess
was
we can
looking
take
up
a
the
short break. Man, we're already on short
just
breaks.
a real quick one. A
Yeah,
quick
there's our quick one.
a quick break. Okay, I'll be right back.
Oh, is that us worshipping the coffee cup god? Wonderlink? That must have been like Neuralink. That's one of my favorite ones.
You know who made it.
I like that one. No, that one's okay. It almost looks like she's holding a money bag.
I'm back.
That one's pretty decent too.
What's up?
I was commenting on our different pictures, which ones I like. My favorite one's the nuclear one. I still like that one a lot. All right, let's see. What do we got? We got some leap years going on. If you didn't know, I gotta get rid of this Chrome. I'm done with Chrome. Unpin. There we go. So if you didn't know, this year's a leap year.
Excellent. I didn't know until you pulled out this article.
My mom and I were talking about it, and then because we were trying to figure out, I think it was we were discussing because Grandma already planned Christmas for next year because she was
that.
trying to accommodate everybody this year, and it didn't work out to where, well, it did, it actually did, but it didn't in a way. So she got ahead of it, and we already knew the day.
Yeah.
But then we were doing the calculations, and it was like weird because it didn't line up right. And we were like, "Is it a leap year?" And then it was like, "Yep, it's a leap year."
That's funny. Oh, just being like, oh, it's if it was on
Yeah, because it was a
Sunday this
Monday.
year. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
the Christmas,
was
Grandma's
like, how do you
Christmas is the
calculate?
22nd. Like it's burned in my head now. Sunday the 22nd. So I was like, wait, how could it be the Sunday if it's the 22nd? And then, yeah, so then Christmas is on a Wednesday, which is kind of annoying. I was hoping it was going to be on a Tuesday. I wanted, because I liked the Monday one. The Monday one was cool because some people got Friday off. Like we got Friday off, and then some people got Tuesday off. So it was almost like you got Friday and Tuesday off because it was
Yeah.
super light. And then, and especially with us working with customers and stuff like that. So it was interesting. But then a Tuesday one would also be cool because then it's like you got a super long weekend. And I doubt anybody would have had the Wednesday. Wednesday would have been rough. But now it's in the middle of the week, which is my least favorite holiday positioning. I do not like Wednesday holidays. Like
Well,
either
do
side of that
Tuesday,
middle,
Wednesday.
huh?
I mean, or Wednesday, Thursday,
Yeah, that's
Tuesday,
like
Wednesday.
I don't
You'll
like
have
any of
Eve
that.
off, right?
It's just
So
like it's so like it's a Tuesday, Wednesday off or a Wednesday, Thursday off, and it's just I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. So leap year made me mad this year.
yeah, I'm gonna file that away and try and remember to maybe take that Monday off.
And if you want to come to Grandma's Christmas, it's on the 22nd.
Note to self.
like, there's
Let,
gonna be no
let,
question next
let
year.
you
It's
know
like,
soon because she's getting it all together.
yep. So, already ready to go. So I like that though. I'm a planner. I like
Yeah.
dates. I'm very happy when somebody comes with like, hey, this is the day. This is what's going on. I'm like, cool. I can plan around that because eventually it burns into my brain, and then it's not like, when were we doing that? So, but why do leap years happen? Do you remember? I remember from school. I thought.
I feel like it's because it's not exactly 365 days to go around the. It's like like I don't know, a few hours, and so they just do 365 and then add an extra day every few years. Well, it's 4 years, right? 3 years? Two.
4.
Four.
Well, that's what we're going to learn about. Leap years are years with 366 calendar days instead of 365. They happen every 4th year in the Gregorian calendar, the calendar used by the majority of the world. The extra day is known as Leap Day, is February 29th, which does not exist in non-leap years. every year that is divisible by 4, such as 2020, 2024 is a leap year, except for some centenary years. Centenary, I don't know how to say that, but or years that end in double zeros, like such as 1900. Well, that's interesting. Did you know
Oh,
that if we went, I think, what is it? If we went to a 13-month calendar, all the months would have had the same number of days and we wouldn't have leap year?
what?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how that works. I forget. Like, yeah, there's a certain calendar. If we went by it, all the months would have the same amount of days and we wouldn't need leap year. Something to that effect. Which I don't understand on how you don't need leap year, but we could look that up at some point. But yeah, I heard that not too long ago, and I was like, why in the world is, like, in a conversation about daylight savings also? It was like,
Yeah.
why don't we use that? That makes sense. But no, of course we don't do things that make sense here on the planet Earth. We just make things up because somebody feels like it.
Yeah. That feels right.
The name leap comes from the fact that from March onward, each date of a leap year moves forward by an extra day from the previous year. For example, March 1st was a Wednesday, but in 2024 it will fall on a Friday. Okay.
And now I'm honestly wondering what day my birthday's going to be on this year. I don't remember what day it was last year. I'm looking
I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna look at mine. I get a Monday birthday this year.
Ooh, are you gonna take a long a long weekend?
Maybe.
Mine's on a Saturday.
You made that
I'm
sound so
devastated.
bad.
Now I have to take an extra day off. That's not on my birthday.
You're so funny. All right, I subscribe to the take your birthday off. I'm a
Yeah.
fan of that. I think my dad did that for a while. I don't know. I don't remember, but I do it. I like it.
Mhm. Yeah, I
So
feel like it's, if nothing else, it's the day to just like not, I don't know. I really enjoy the people I work with. I've enjoyed all the people I've worked with over the last few years, but I want like my own special day. Even if I do nothing. Like I want to do whatever it is that I want to do that day. And I feel like I want other people to do the same thing on their birthday. I don't know. It just feels like if something happened, like bad happens while you're at work, you're gonna be like, but it's my birthday. You know? Like let's
but
just
it's my,
completely
why is
avoid
this
that
happening on
situation.
my birthday?
Yeah, like why would it seriously this has to happen today on my birthday, you know? And if it's a good thing, it's like why can't this happen every day? Like it only happens, I don't know. It just feels like good or bad. It it just if it feels different when it's on your birthday. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna take it off, and I'll be like, "What'd you do on your birthday?" I watched so much TV. I ate all my favorite foods. I did whatever I wanted to. I went for a walk. Whatever. I don't. That's just the way I like to roll. No excuses.
So how would you feel if your birthday was on if you were Chinese and everybody shared the same birthdays? If you didn't know that, everybody in China has the same birthday.
Interesting.
January 1st.
I guess it would be completely different because it wouldn't be my special day.
No,
I don't know.
it's
I
everybody's
think,
special day. Like
yeah,
just
it's just
a
like
couple billion
so
people's
then
special day.
everybody, yeah, everyone celebrates that day, and you're just like, Yahoo! It's our birthday.
It would be
Um,
cool. It would be cool. Like
it would
everybody's
be.
out celebrating. Well, you wouldn't be able to get a reservation anywhere. Um,
Well,
but yeah,
this reminds me, when I was working at the pizza place, a girl came in and, I carded her because she was getting some alcohol. And I was like, "Oh, we have the same birthday." And she was like, she didn't say anything. I was like, "Well, I mean, not the same year." She was like, "Obviously." She was much younger. And that hurt.
wow.
But if everyone has the same birthday, that situation would never happen. I probably shouldn't have said anything about us having the same birthday. That was my bad. But um, but yeah,
It's just
I
so
don't know.
funny. She's like,
I would be okay with it.
she was not sharing the same joy
She,
that you were.
yeah, she was like, okay, old lady. I mean, to be fair, I was a 30-something working at a pizza place. She's probably like, if I'm still working, if this is what I'm doing, that's fine. Hey, I loved working there. I still have dreams about working there when life was simple.
Yeah, I know. I dream. So, well, I don't dream. I daydream, which is coming up here in a second. Um, I daydream about simple jobs. I
Yeah.
wish sometimes, like, I don't
Like,
know
what
how
was
to
the worst that's
describe it.
gonna happen? A customer yell at you?
Yeah, you're
Like,
not going to melt
oh,
down a
darn it.
multi-million dollar system, computer system or something, cause like hundreds of people distress
Yeah.
because the system's down because you put one
Yeah.
line of code in bad. Yeah. No, the level of stress but it's I guess it's just different stresses, but
Yeah, it
everybody
is.
everybody has stresses at their jobs but it's funny because it's like, it would just be like I get to think about other things while
Yeah.
I'm working. I don't know. So it would be nice. It would just be nice. I dream about having other jobs. That's what it is. It's not so
Yeah.
much that they're easy or anything. It's just like, oh, I want to work in customer service, like type things. Like
Hmm.
for me, it's like a home. I want to work at. We have Menards around here, so like a home, like a Lowe's or a Home Depot.
Oh, yeah.
And so, and those would be fine too,
Get
like
that
Home
sweet
Depot or
discount.
Lowe's. That's where I'd go. Not that I'm handy or anything, but I'd be all right because like it doesn't seem like if you work in your certain department you get too overwhelmed, because it's just like people every now and then coming over to your desk. I'd probably want to work in. I wouldn't want to work in the paint area because I don't like the smell of paint. I mean, like I don't dislike it, but I wouldn't want to be around it all day. I'd probably work over in the screw and the hardware area because it seems like that's pretty chill over there. I don't think I'd want to work in the lumber area or the outdoor.
Mm.
Oh, I wouldn't mind the garden center. That'd be
Yeah, that would
cool.
be pretty nice, except for when it's freezing.
Yeah, but I
Uh,
like cold, so I'm okay
uh,
with cold. I don't like hot, so I'm not as big of a fan of like working in hot weather because of welding for all those years. Like it was just so
yeah,
unbearable.
you're
I
you're
welcomed
you're
winter.
what you don't like. You're like, you know what? Between the heat and the cold, I will take the cold all
Yeah,
day. Thank you.
yeah, because I mean we worked in both extremes because our overhead doors were always open for pushing out trailers. So
Ooh,
yeah, it was
yeah.
hot and cold. It was also pretty cold, but I would choose the cold all the time. The hot, just you can't do anything about it. Cold, you can just put more clothes on. It's usually
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, there's options.
Mm-hmm.
Extra pair of socks.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I would work in a grocery store. Oh man.
Oh, a
I'm
grocery
always like,
store? Hmm.
yeah. I worked at a few.
Yeah, so did
And
I. I
the
worked at
the
one, but
the best part about working at a grocery store, I never took advantage because I always worked in the bakeries. Uh, but I did work with a lot of people that would just move to a different section, like because you work with the same people all the time. There's usually not a huge turnover. Uh, in the different departments. So you work with the same people all the time. You stop getting along, or you're tired of your shift or whatever. Um, and so you go work in a different department, and so then you're working with different people. And I don't know, I love that idea. They usually have good benefits and pay fairly well, and you can do different things. I don't know. I just like I had friends that worked in the deli and then in the bakery, that's when I was baking bread. And then the meat department, and then they moved to produce, and then they'd work in the wine section. Like I love that. And you're still like it's still at the same store. You don't have to start all over. You I don't know. I love that and I would totally do it. Not, at like a Publix or something like that. I don't think I'd be good at like a Walmart or, some place that doesn't really uh, like their employees. I want to work somewhere that
I don't know.
uh,
Walmart
takes
seems
care of
pretty
their
chill
people.
because everybody's just walking around in like groups of four, just chit
Yeah.
chatting and not organizing anything.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's
I don't know
that
who
just shows
manages
how
those
much they don't
places.
care. Yeah, it just shows how much they don't care about their employees. When you go to places that are um that take care of their employees, the employees take care of the store. So,
That's a good
not
point.
everybody, but I mean, obviously there's outliers as far as
I
like
don't know.
companies
I would still
and
try to do a
people,
good
but
job, even at Walmart. Even if my boss wasn't, I don't know. I always try to be a decent employee. I've never been somebody that just totally slacks off. I don't think. At least my perception of myself working is not like that. Somebody that I worked with
let's
previously.
find out. That'll
Yeah,
be the next
I was gonna
show.
say Craig can
Pretending
comment.
to
We
be
worked
somebody.
together when we were 16
Yeah.
until he got his
So
real job,
yeah.
which he's been at since 17.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Oh yeah, because he's like 80 now, so he's an old man.
It's like I will retire soon. Man, 80. I had no idea.
Yeah, Craig's crazy. He ages double years.
He's like a dog.
He's like a dog. No, he's a Craig.
Oh. Ah. I don't know why I never put it together
Even though he
before.
doesn't look old, he doesn't look his age. I don't know.
Well,
I think
that's
a lot of the older people nowadays don't look old.
yeah. I know. I keep wanting I
They all look young. They've taken care of themselves. That
yeah.
generation, the people that are, I'd say, a lot of the people that are between 70 and I'd say 85 that I know, they look pretty. He gave us a sad face. They look, I think they look really good for their age. Like, and it's interesting how healthy people are at that age nowadays. You know,
Yeah,
and it could also be that the unhealthy ones have been weeded out, but
probably.
it I don't
Well,
know, the perception of it seems interesting. It seems like people are overall healthier than when I was younger.
yeah. Yeah,
Even
I
though we're
mean,
more obese and, we're heavier,
well, do you
but
think it's like their generation, like the generation, couple generations before us? You think it's because like things started getting easier? I mean,
yeah, I would
and
imagine
and
that
then
life
and
was
then
hard
also like
before our
yeah, it was
generations.
really hard. And then,
That's
I
exactly
mean,
it.
they grew up in that too a little bit, I think. I mean, they grew up, especially their parents and stuff,
Yeah.
having gone through all that. So they got this like, uh, and then, I don't know if it was so much the 70s. I'm not sure, but like the 80s for sure, and the 90s, people started being more like conscious about their health and stuff. Um, I don't know. Maybe that's why they were part of that. Like our generation is like,
We've went backwards. Our generations
yeah.
went backwards. The invention
Well,
of the
like for
microwave has set everybody back.
oh,
Fast food, microwave,
yeah,
corporate profits. Because fast food really wasn't bad when it
yeah,
first started. It was just normal
mhm,
food, and then it turned into this trash. So
yeah.
yeah,
Everything super
I'd agree with
processed.
that.
It's hard. Yeah.
I'd agree with your assessment. It's gotten a little easier overall. And then they were probably already conditioned to, you know, work hard and,
Yeah.
do physical things and
I did read
eat
that
homemade things.
and yeah, and as food gets like more processed, I think it like I don't know. I've read some things. I'm gonna not talk about it because I don't know if it's real or not. I don't want to spread propaganda. Flat earther stuff. Um no, I just yeah, I think yeah, and then things just kept getting easier, right? So then now we have the mess that the kiddos are in. But that's okay. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, they have to. It's
Yeah.
not our problem. We're
Yeah.
past the age of figuring it out. They
Yeah.
got to deal with it
Yeah.
now. We've already
I
set our course in history has been set in place. It's screwed up. So you guys
yeah.
got to figure out the mess we made. Our generation made quite a mess.
Yeah, I think about it and I'm like, oh man, I'm in big trouble. I don't have much of a retirement yet. And I don't have any kids to take care of me. I'm like, I gotta get a better plan.
Yep, yep.
Like that. So yeah, you gotta
That is
be.
that is something I've read recently is our generation is the first generation that's going to have to figure out how to survive without retirement money
Hmm.
because of how bad we did and how much we really didn't plan for the future and didn't take lessons learned from our elders
Yeah.
that
Well,
they
it's
did
because we
like
know better.
amazing. Like most of them were they did really good for the most part, but
Yeah.
yeah. No, we've done horrible. And then a lot of the people are previous generations, our parents and grandparents, then they've had to pick up the slack for us, which has caused them to get put into bad situations. There's so many people that,
Yeah. Well,
like
it
they had
kind
to
of
pay
feels like
for.
it's their fault.
It's their
I'm just
fault.
kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Well, they did raise us to
Uh,
be
yeah.
lazy
How
people,
do we take
so and
less
bad planners.
responsibility?
Yeah,
It's funny.
yeah, yeah. It's not our fault. It's their
No.
fault. That sounds exactly like our generation. Blame everybody else. No, our mess isn't our problem. It was other people's problems.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
that's
like that.
exactly it.
I just, it was like that when I got here.
It was no, it wasn't. It was those damn
Not it.
hippies. We could blame the hippies. A lot of people blame the hippies for stuff.
Yeah,
So we'll blame that '70s generation.
yeah,
So or the teenagers and the 20 somethings that were in the '70s.
yeah, yeah.
Nah, we've made our generation has made quite a mess, quite a mess. And then the current generations, like they're actually aware and trying to be better people,
Yeah.
and trying to fix things.
I know they're having
It's
a
so
tough
funny.
time,
They
but
are.
they'll figure it out. It'll be okay. I
And they
think.
also have this concept of like mental health issue, like awareness and stuff.
Yeah. When I
Oh,
don't
it's
know.
so
I do
funny.
remember like kind of like the tip of the iceberg when we like in the 90s and stuff when we were teenagers. Uh, kind of talking about it, but nothing like how it is now. I like it. I see some better and some not better things, but yeah,
I
I
don't
feel
know
like
what
that's
we've
just how
done.
it's supposed to go.
We're totally off topic on this. We went dentist
Yeah,
and
no.
to
I
like
honestly I was
generational
thinking the
things.
same thing like moments ago. I was like, we were talking about leap year. What happened? You
Well,
know,
our
actually, I know
generation
what
will
happened.
be the generation to get rid of daylight savings and leap years.
Never. I do know what happened, Jeff. I know why we keep going off topic. We didn't talk. We just talked for a little bit yesterday. Normally we get all this stuff out of the way. So by the time we do our show, yeah, we this is that's the
This is our
problem. We didn't
normal
talk all week.
conversations. You're saying that
Yeah.
our audience gets a look behind the scenes of what we do all week long while we're supposed to be planning our show. We're just
Our
chit chatting.
show. Yeah. the- So, and yeah, we didn't really even talk last weekend.
No, we took
Last
last
week.
weekend off. What about
No,
the?
we worked last weekend. We did the show last weekend. You were very exhausted.
Uh, so that's why I don't
You were,
remember. I'm
yeah,
even running on even less sleep today.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, like my
No,
eye keeps
you were
twitching and like
grouchy last week.
I was grouchy. I did
You
get that
were.
comment. I did get that
Yeah,
comment from
yeah.
our
So,
some of our viewers.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah. No, this is a couple
Grouchy.
weeks of backup.
I wasn't happy with our articles.
Yeah. We were not
I'm
prepared.
excited about these, and now we're down to 10 minutes if we're cutting off at 9:30. Do we have any extra time today?
Have a little extra time today.
Good. We gotta move past leap years.
All right.
So there's leap years that started back in 45 BC. If we didn't do it, then eventually all the seasons would be off, and who really cares? I mean, I don't. I personally, I think it's interesting, but at the same time, I don't care if our calendar's off. Like,
My birthday is in spring.
do
That's
you
it.
care?
So I'm fine with it.
Do you
I'm
care
fine
if it
with
would
the
be
leap
like
year.
winter all of a sudden, like
Um,
hundreds of years
I
later or
I
something?
think it would be. I don't. I mean, one extra day every 4 years. I don't know. It's a fun thing. It's not like daylight savings where it throws off your whole it takes a couple weeks to get back into a
Adjusted.
rhythm.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
leap year
I mean,
doesn't
it's
really
just one
mess with
extra day.
anything. You're
And
right.
it's unfortunate for the kids that are born on the 29th because they get made fun of and then they only get
Made fun
an
of? Who's
actual birthday.
making fun of them? I've never
When I
made fun of
well,
somebody for their birthday.
well, you didn't go to the fun schools that I went to. The poor kids that had leap years, I feel like they got made fun of that they never and I mean it wasn't like a whole year of bullying. It was like, oh yeah, you don't have your
A
birthday.
whole year
Just
of bullying. Wow.
4 years of 3 years of bullying. You don't
You
have
don't
a
get a birthday
birthday.
again this year.
Um,
Ew.
yeah, of course you don't. Well, you don't deserve one. I'm just
You
kidding.
leap
No,
baby.
that's me.
You were skipped.
Yeah.
You're not even supposed to be here. Oh my
Aw,
gosh.
poor
No,
kid.
I've never heard of anybody getting made fun of for their leap year birthday.
Yeah.
I actually, if anything, I'd revere them. I'd be like, oh, that's so cool. Like, your birthday is like a super special day. That's the way I
Yeah,
look
there's
at it.
been this isn't the first time that I've been like, what? No wonder I got bullied so much. Like, I hear other people and they're like, why would anybody get made fun of for that? And I'm like, you didn't go to the
Our
schools
school
I
is
went to.
tough.
Like, those were like the light bullying. Like,
Yeah, no,
jeez.
ours was all looks based, looks and money based. That was the bullying there.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't race because we were a pretty mixed school. So it was not really, well, mixed without, I would say just two races, white and black. That was it. We didn't
Mhm.
have heavy Asian presence or Hispanic presence or any other. We weren't too much of a melting pot, but we were pretty even on the whites and the blacks, or as even as it could be
Mm.
in general. I don't know, because there was heavier schools that had more blacks and there were schools that had more whites, but we were pretty much in the middle. Um, so in that way, it was looks based on what people perceived as good looking and not good looking, and there was still a lot of fat shaming then, I would say, and then
Yeah.
that would be pretty much it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the poor girls that got
And poor.
busty in middle school. Yeah, I grew up in like some pretty poor places. I don't remember anybody getting I mean, guaranteed they did get picked on for not being poor, being rich or whatever, but I don't remember that. I wasn't a part of that.
Yeah, I remember it because I remember this one kid. He just got picked on so bad because of his clothes, and then like
Mm,
there was a story about his dad was like trying to find food in a trash can, and people saw him and stuff like that, and it was I felt bad for that kid. It was horrible because it was always over the top too. It was way too
yeah,
much, but I guess
that's
that's
not right.
bullying anyways. Sounds about right,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But that's why people daydream, maybe.
Luckily, that only happens on leap years.
Only on leap
All
years.
right.
Yeah, let's try to get back to our actual show. So, thinking about what life would be like to be somebody else. I don't know. Daydreaming. What happens in the brain while daydreaming?
I don't know.
During quiet waking. What? That's weird. Brain activity in mice suggests the animals are daydreaming about a recent image. Having daydreams about a recently viewed image predict how the brain would respond to the image in the future. The findings provide a clue that daydreams may play a role in brain plasticity. You are sitting quietly, and suddenly your brain tunes out the world and wanders to something else entirely, like our whole show.
Yeah. Squirrel. Yeah.
Perhaps a recent experience or an old memory. You just had a daydream. I don't know. Mine's different. It doesn't play into those recent experiences so much and old memories. Yeah, we were just reminiscing there. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think about different things. Like,
Yeah.
I guess future or wonder about sciences in the world. Things like that. What do you daydream about?
Just Well, in the past, Rick and I, it's funny, we used to daydream about like where we were gonna live. This is when I was still going to school, so we were so broke. So it was like we'd walk around in this neighborhood that we totally fell in love with and like imagine living there. And so we'd daydream about that a lot together and on our own we'd be like, "Oh, I was thinking about like how cool it would be to do this or that." Um, yeah.
Craig daydreams about the calendar and working out. No.
Yeah.
Work
Yeah, I
things out.
definitely the other day I was working on something and
Dreams
I
about
was
disc
getting
golf.
really frustrated and I walked into the bathroom. I went to take a little bathroom break and as
I
I was
wondered how
walking into the
detailed you were going to go with that.
No, as I was walking into the bathroom, I was like, "Oh," I said out loud. I was like, "Oh, I just need to do blah blah blah." And Rick's like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, I was having this problem." And he was like, "You figured it out in there?" And I was like, "No, I was thinking about it." And I just stepped away for like because the bathroom's right next to my office. I was like in that like 10 steps or whatever. It like popped into my head and I said it out loud like what I needed to do so I could remember it. But yeah. I think I
Yeah.
like that. Like, gonna step away. I'll think about it somewhere else where I'm not in front of the computer.
So that falls into his working things out. Yep.
Yeah.
I do that. Like, I think about code
Yeah.
a lot. So, working things
Yeah.
out. My inspirations come from all over the place.
Yep.
I daydream about dreams. Like, what the
Yeah.
heck was happening in that dream last night? Oh my gosh, I didn't even tell you about my dream last night. That one was crazy too. Oh, so stressful. General High daydreams about food.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Mm.
I don't often daydream about food. Let's see. Now a study in mice has brought a team led by researchers. Yeah, blah blah blah. Researchers tracked the activity of neurons in the visual cortex of the brains of mice while animals remain in a quiet waking state. They found occasionally these neurons fired in a pattern similar to one that occurred when a mouse looked at an image, suggesting the mouse was thinking or daydreaming about the image. Yeah, that makes sense.
Interesting.
Moreover, the patterns of activity during the mice's first few daydreams of the day predict how the brain's response to the image would change over time. An overlooked brain region. Scientists have spent considerable time studying how neurons replay past events to form memories and map the physical environment in the hippocampus. A seahorse-shaped brain region. We've got seahorses in our brain. That plays a key role in memory and spatial navigation. By contrast, there's been little research in the relay of neurons in other brain regions, including the visual cortex, such efforts would provide valuable insights about how visual memories are formed. Planning grocery shopping needs and what's for dinner.
I don't think that's daydreaming. That's just thinking, right? I was doing that this morning too.
Like, what's for dinner already? This morning?
Well, you have to go grocery shopping and get all your. Well, see, one way to avoid a high grocery bill is to plan out your week and then just get all the groceries that you need at once.
I know nothing about that.
Yeah.
You know
I
how
don't
I-
understand the word that you are
Yeah,
saying.
like grocery shopping and planning.
If I can't send my kids out at 5 o'clock to not get the ingredients that I asked for, then it's not dinner time.
Oh my gosh. That was so funny. They're like, yeah, we just decided to leave out half the ingredients because
I
we didn't
know.
think
I
we
think
liked
about.
that.
I told Rick that story. I was like, "Who says like I need these things, but if there's something you don't like, then don't you don't need to
Yeah,
get it." And then
that
they
was
don't
on
get
me.
any of the stuff.
That was on me. That was 100% on me. I'm not blaming them at all. I was like, yeah, if you don't think you like it, just don't get it. It totally ruined it.
They're like, "Okay, then."
Those
Here
meatballs
here
were
you
not
go."
very good. Oh my gosh. They're like, onion powder. We don't like onions, so we're not going to get onion powder. Garlic. I don't like garlic, so I'm not going to get garlic. It's like, it's not
That's
going to
hilarious.
taste
They're
like
like, We
Uh,
don't like, well, I guess that's how you find out how the flavor gets in is by having the thing without the flavor. I'm like,
yeah,
oh, okay, I see now.
yeah. No, those are
I get it.
horrible. They weren't horrible. They just were unflavorful. So it's just eating
Yeah.
breadcrumb meat. All
Like
right. Well, oh, good.
when I was working at my first job was at a Chinese restaurant, and it said like if you wanted to leave out any salt or MSG or sugar because those are a common flavor added added flavors, um, to just tell the server. And this guy said he didn't want any of them, no salt, no sugar, and no MSG. And I was like, well, are you sure? Because like that's what we flavor it with. And even the cooks like made me double check, and I brought it out, and he was like, "This is disgusting. It doesn't taste like anything." I'm like, "It's literally you've got onions and celery." I'm like, "Yeah, because we didn't put the things that make it flavorful in. We had to make a sauce that didn't have those things in it for you, and so now it's just like, you know, gross."
That's so funny. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
don't leave out things. You can always
yeah,
add more flavor, but
just
or
like
change. You can change things
yeah,
out, but don't take it away.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Like no MSG, that makes sense. A lot of people are allergic to it, or hey, light salt or no salt. Things that you can, but leave the other flavor. Yeah. And when you go out to eat, it's hard because it's in everything. But
All right.
yeah, sorry.
Next up,
Willpower.
willpower. Willpower is staying on task.
Yeah.
Most people say, oops, I gotta change picture too. Most people say that willpower is the same as self-control. What would you say? What say you?
I I feel willpower, self-control. Honestly, when you said it earlier, it to me sounds like it's the same thing. Um, Willpower. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like there might be like small change differences, but overall it's the same. I don't know. Tell me more. I'm curious. I've been waiting for this one.
A scientific squabble about how to define self-control draws from an unlikely story. A story from Greek mythology. Oh man, I loved that. I took mythology, like a couple of classes in college.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of boring, but it's actually really interesting. It's a mix. It's a mix of boring and interesting. Sailing home to Ithaca after the Trojan War, Odysseus. Oh yeah, I loved that story. Odysseus longed to hear the sirens' legendary song, but he knew that was a very bad idea. The sirens, the goddess of Circe, had warned, lured passing sailors to their island to kill them. So Circe helped Odysseus form a plan. As his boat approached the siren, oh yeah, I remember they tied him to the mast. Approached the siren's island. Odysseus handed crew members balls of wax. Oh, I thought they got tied to a mast. Handed crew members balls of wax to plug their ears, and he ordered the men to tie him firmly to the boat's mast. He told the crew to tie him tighter if he begged and pleaded to heed the siren's call. His plan in place, Odysseus was able to both hear the sirens and live to tell the tale.
I'm curious about one thing. If they had balls of wax in their ears so they didn't hear the sirens, how would they hear him begging for more so that they would tighten the ropes?
They'd see his lips moving.
Ah.
I don't know. You're right. That's a
If you see
little
me
bit.
talking, that's the only, I was just curious
Yeah,
if
there's a
maybe
problem in that
that
story.
wasn't part of the story. Okay.
There's a
All
little
right.
bit of a
Sorry.
problem because I do remember them having to put something in their ears, so they didn't. But then I remembered them tying him to the mast. So, but I thought they all were tied down or something. So,
Hmm.
the science
Yeah.
is clear. Proverbially, tying oneself to the mast or crafting strategies in advance to thwart temptation is an optimal way to meet one's goals. But not all agree that such preemptive strategies constitute self-control. I'd kind of agree on that because
Okay. Yeah.
he wasn't like saying, "No, I'm good. I don't need that." Social psychologists say Odysseus utilized exemplary self-control. That's because they tend to distinguish between strategic self-control, that is, the Odysseus approach, and willpower. Willpower would be akin to Odysseus resisting the siren's call in the moment without the rope and muscular crewmen. They had to be muscular to hold him back?
Yeah. And like, if they were wimpy men, they could have gotten away.
Some social scientists, though, have started to push back against the linguistic split. Most lay people use both willpower and self-control to refer to resisting temptation in the moment. They say, Sandra Spirida, a psychiatric neurologist and philosopher. Wow, that's actually a really interesting combo.
Yeah.
At the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. As such, they view Odysseus's decision to tie himself to the mast not as an act of self-control, but an admission that he lacked it. I would 100% agree on that.
Yeah.
Odysseus's case is a vivid example of how pre-commitment, pre-planning, and things like that aren't called by ordinary people self-control.
Interesting. I like it. I like this story. I'm still confused on the difference between willpower and self-control.
Yeah, I'm trying to
But
I'm
I
trying to
can-
skip ahead. One survey found that roughly 40% of people in the United States make resolutions, but less than half complete that resolution by year's end. Roughly a third of resolution setters don't make it past the 3-month mark. Another survey showed that most adult Americans think they'll fail at their resolutions due to, you guessed it, lack of willpower. Think of it this way.
You definitely will. So.
If he told his patients, what? I thought it was a lady. That's funny, that name. What was the name again? Sandra? Chandra? Huh. Okay. Interesting. If he told his patients to exercise self-control to avoid sweets, they would think he meant resisting the immediate craving to eat freshly baked cookie. They would not think he meant taking the long road home to avoid driving past the bakery. You have to communicate with people using a familiar vocabulary. In recent years, psychological terms have been blah, 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 gaslighting, triggered, narcissistic, toxic, traumatized, flourishing have become diluted and imprecise. The term self-control shows that similar mistranslations also occur in reverse. The idea of self-control emerged thousands of years ago. For instance, The Laws, a book delving into political philosophy, ethics, theology, and psychology. Plato asserted that self-control compensated for a lack of strategic planning.
Interesting. That makes sense.
By comparison, scientists entered the self-control discourse relatively recently. Other concepts such as attention, memory, motivation, desire have followed a similar trajectory from lay discourse to scientific jargon, says philosopher Juan Pablo Bermudez, a co-author in the study. Once these words come into science, they change. Sometimes they change for the better, sometimes they get muddier. Self-control seems to be the case of the latter. To be clear, scientists' hearts are in the right place. And it was known that people reporting high levels of inner self-control as a measured response to the questions such as, am I good at resisting temptation? Or, I get carried away by my feelings, tend to report higher levels of well-being and academic achievement and more stable relationships than the general public. The scientists assume that people with strong in self-control were simply better than others at muscling through temptation. How, they wanted to know? How could others strengthen that muscle? But then research began to emerge that challenged that framework. In one study, researchers analyzed the results of about 100 self-control studies of almost 33,000 people. Actually, that's a pretty big study.
Mm-hmm. It is big.
Like
Bigger
normally
than
it's
most
like
of the
10.
ones we talk about.
Yeah, it's like 5,
We
10,
talk
20.
to our friends and family, and
Exactly. 33,000. That's a pretty big sample pool. People who scored high in self-control were no better than others in resisting temptation in the moment. Those scientists reported that in February, blah, 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 such individuals reporting having established habits or routines. In another study, researchers pinged over 200 people on beepers several times a day to measure their desires in real time. Individuals who scored high in self-control reported experiencing less temptation and weaker desires than those with lower scores. Those studies led to a seismic shift in the field of self-control. Apparently, the people who are good in self-control don't inhibit all day long. They do something different. Thus began willpower versus self-control split. Scientists began exploring the tools that could help people do things differently while sticking to the moniker self-control. Researchers focused on strategies that people could call in the moment to move beyond simple willpower to resist temptation.
I feel like that if somebody was reaching out to me several times a day and being like, have you thought about a brownie? Have you been thinking about brownies? Have you been, when was the last time you thought about a cookie? I'm like, you know what? I haven't stopped thinking about it since you messaged me like 10 times today. Like now I need one. I feel like I don't know how else you would do it, but like if you're constantly asking somebody if they're thinking about this thing that they're trying to avoid, then that's all they're gonna think about, and they're like, you know what, I'm just gonna have it and then get it over with, and then move on with my life. Like who can do that? That's hard. Anyway,
Do you want
sorry.
a brownie?
I honestly, until I said that, I like picked the one thing that I'm like, I hardly ever want this. It sounds delicious, especially if there was walnuts in
I'm
it.
not a brownie person, so I still don't like it. I'm still not in the
It
mood.
helps if it's not something that you like too. But yeah.
So,
Anyway,
the separation, from what I'm gathering, is self-control is planning and preemptively knowing that you need to resist it. Willpower is in the moment.
yeah.
Is that what you're taking away from this?
I'm picking that up as well. I used to always carry like granola bars and stuff, even though I don't like them. Um and because I knew if I got hungry, where, especially when I was in school, it's like when I get hungry, the only options are really bad foods. And I would take my lunch with me, but I was like, if it's not enough and I get hungry, I'm gonna eat something that I don't normally eat, or I'm gonna get something that's really bad because like I wasn't eating dairy. There was a lot of things I wasn't eating at the time. Um, and so it was like, it's either I'll eat something that I don't normally, or, eat something that's really bad. And I wanted to avoid those things. So I was just always make sure I had snacks. I did do, I do love doing cleanses or fasting. And I have gone out to, in the middle of like a 7-day fast. I went out to a restaurant with a bunch of family, and everyone was like, aren't you hungry? I'm like, well, this food looks delicious, but I'm in the middle of the fast, and I wasn't about to tell everyone that they, because we were all out together. I was like, I'm not going to tell you guys not to eat. So I just sat there and I drank my water and stuff, and I still had a good time. But, I, yeah, so at that point it was willpower because I didn't have anything, prepared. But yeah, and then there was other times. Yeah, there's definitely a difference in how I would handle those situations based on what I had. Oh, I left the office door open. The dogs just came in.
They're like, you're
This
supposed to
might
be done.
interesting. Yeah,
You're done now.
yeah. I didn't know I left the door open.
So psychologists of current day have blurred the line, is what this final paragraph says. There is no difference between self-control and willpower. Counter to thousands of years of language use. So yeah, I'm going to take the ancient definition where that's the pre-planning, that's self-control. Where you know, maybe you know
Self-aware.
you're susceptible to things and you like avoid it or don't drive by things or, you know, you don't talk about things that might get something stuck in your head. Then willpower
Yeah.
turns on for in the moment. That's how I like to think of it. Willpower is okay, you tried self control, it didn't work. And now you just got to willpower through it.
Now you just got to muscle through it.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and fasting is one of those things. It's tough. Your brain and your body telling you, dumbass, you need to eat.
Honestly, like whenever I've fasted successfully, and I've done it a lot, or often, where it was like a week of fasting. Um, I always found it really easy, but I always prepared myself. Like, and after the first day, it got a lot easier, but like, uh, just making sure I always was drinking lots of water, and maybe that's where the pre-planning. Um,
Sleep helps.
I don't know, sleep.
If you sleep a lot, that consumes a lot of those hours in the day, so
Well,
then you don't
the
have to
first few
think
times
about it.
that I did that I ever fasted, I was working at a pizza place, so I'd be fasting at work
Ooh, that's
in a
tough.
pizza place. Yeah, it actually made it easy because I was like I could smell all the delicious food, and I'd already worked there for a couple of years, so it wasn't like it was, you know, I was like, oh, I couldn't eat that even if I wanted to. I'm so sick of it. That's what I tell myself every time I'd see something that looked good. I'm like, oh, I'd get such a stomach ache if I ate that. I bet I would feel so sick. It makes it easier when you think if everything you look at make you think will make you feel sick, you won't eat it. What's that? A tooth?
I think it is.
Because
Uh,
it's not willpower.
I think it's a
Willpower.
megalodon tooth. What do you think? It looks like a cloud of dust.
Yeah. I didn't know they look like arms, mechanical arms. Um, is it the where's the tooth?
I don't know. That's what's funny about this picture.
Yeah. Like, is it that orange thing? Maybe they're putting it back. Um,
Putting it back on the bottom of the
yeah.
ocean.
Yeah, let's wrap it in this orange tape and then we'll put it back in the where we found
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is on that picture, but researchers found, or scientists found, a megalodon tooth found on an unexplored seamount 10,000 feet below the ocean surface. So they lost a tooth.
it.
The gold colored tooth, which we don't see very well in that picture, and I didn't grab the one lower down, I don't think, was long discovered more than, was 2.7 inches long, was discovered more than 10,000 feet, 3,000 meters below the surface in Johnson Atoll in the Pacific Remote Islands, around 800 miles south of the Hawaiian Islands.
Okay. Interesting.
So Megalodon did exist.
Yes. I feel like that's true.
Megalodon was the largest shark to have ever lived, growing up to at least 49 feet and potentially 65 feet. The massive predators were top of the ocean's. Yeah, of course they were top of the ocean's food chain.
Hmm.
Jeez, they're 65 feet long. Like today's sharks are scary, and those are only like 10 to 12 feet long.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
big
know, and they were
giant
still
mega.
smaller than the biggest whales
They were
found
still.
today,
Well, those
which
whales
is
were probably even
weird.
bigger then too. So
No, are the whales today are I can't
bigger.
remember are the biggest um animals, the biggest creatures to ever live on Earth are
So
alive
even our
today.
whales
It,
are obese.
seriously? Sorry. He's scratching my computer.
Ooh.
The cover on the fan. That was what that noise was.
Yeah, that would not
Sorry.
be cool.
No, get out of here with here. 1 second. Go.
Megalodon teeth are relatively common fossils, everyone. Really? Huh, I didn't know they were
Sorry
that
about that.
common. It said megalodon teeth are relatively common fossils. Each
Hmm.
megalodon had around 276 teeth.
Whoa, that's a lot of teeth.
and they lived in oceans around the world. However, most of these fossils are discovered on land near shorelines or rivers rather than deep sea, which is rarely explored. Well, yeah,
I
makes
wonder why.
sense.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's so weird. Cool.
That is cool.
All right, one more.
One more.
One more. Let's see. Oh, I didn't hit the little fire button for that one.
Oh no.
And
But that means
then,
it didn't happen.
yeah, it didn't mark so much. Now let's do the little fire button for our last one. Now we're on ants. Yay.
That looks fake. I always thought they were smooth.
Well, you gotta zoom in pretty far. It's funny because I had to zoom in last night. I found a spider in the house, and it was like, it was a different. It wasn't a common spider that I normally see. I had to check to make sure it wasn't a black widow.
Oh.
I was like, I had to bring it up close to my face, and I was like, "Don't jump on me. Don't be a little booger." I was trying to think of something nice to say because I don't mind spiders, but yeah, it kept crawling towards me like it was trying to attack me too. It was weird, but
It's
in the
probably
end, it did
because you
not
doubt that they
survive.
do that.
So
I told you that they'll run right at you. They're psychos.
yeah, he was trying to eat a stink bug, and then I was like, no, you don't get to live here.
Yeah. No.
So ant face patterns like swirls. Ant face patterns like swirls and stubble might have a practical value. Looking at face patterns in photos of more than 11,000 kinds of ants struck entomologist Clint Pennick as a fine pandemic lockdown project for his students.
He's like, I got something to keep me busy during.
You're going to look at ant faces.
He's like, it could be worse. It could be a bubble.
It could be a bubble. It could be worse than bubbles. Kids are like, please, not bubble science. From that socially distant slog came the idea that the textured patterns might offer practical benefits. For instance, some soil-dwelling ants with raised, swirling face ridges, almost psychedelic, could be getting extra protection from abrasion. The ridges lie so close together that sand grains can't fit in between. Okay. Most ants have a smooth outer surface or a cuticle, but some grow elaborate patterns such as tiny indentations like dimples on a golf ball, or netted patterns like cracks in the mud. An ant taxonomist, like a taxidermist, but taxonomist, use more than 150 terms to describe the different cuticle patterns with different names for some subtle distinctions. They drive people like me crazy. Textures that look the same, however, might not yield the same benefit in different species. Oh, now it's even getting more complicated.
Yes.
For instance, possibly abrasion-resistant fingerprint-like ridges show up in desert-dwelling, sand-digging ants, but then also their neighbors, trapjaw ants. Yet trapjaw ants don't push their face through the sand, so abrasion isn't much of an issue. However, trapjaw jaws can snap shut with such force that the ants launch into the air and far enough to escape danger. What?
That's crazy.
I never knew that. Their curved face stripes might use diffuse stress or strain when those jaws are cocked. So they're like face wrinkles.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Oh. Hello, cutie.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. How does that launch them? I don't know.
I don't know. I'll have to find some videos.
You know, the different face patterns. So we
That's
have all
very
these.
interesting.
It is like they're so different. It's like I don't look like you.
I like the two middle ones are the coolest, I think. Like with the little dots all over, all big and small dots, and then the other one's like Van Gogh.
Okay, cool.
Interesting.
Once confirmed benefit of the ant facial features, however, it is for humans only. Blah blah blah. To turn parts of ant face images into multicolored fabrics, putting small sections from face photos she colored and stacked and blended each motif into a seamless flow. The effect took a lot of math. Her decorative ant-inspired pillows, plus a face t-shirt now sold online, will raise a little money for the lab. You can buy
Thanks,
ant
though. That's pretty
faces.
cool.
That's so funny. Have that on your shirt. Check this out.
I like what's that? This is an ant face. In your face. Face. Oh. Yeah,
That's cool.
that was very cool. Worth the wait.
Worth the wait and
Save
all
the
the
best for last.
distractions.
Yep. Yep.
So that's it. Show's
We did
over.
it. Yeah. We got a whole extra hour. Lucky, lucky folks.
I know. It was a long show, but really same amount of content minutes, but they got a lot more chit chat today. We made up for
Tons. Yeah.
last week when I was unchit chatty.
It's okay. Everybody has their good days. I'm sure I've had several bad days. So. No, it was fun. That was a lot of fun. And now I've had too much coffee.
Too much.
Yeah. Thanks
Oh,
for
we already
chit-chat.
lost a viewer.
Oh no.
It's funny. They're like, peace, we're out. We've seen it all.
Right,
Got stuff
that's
to do.
probably
You guys
true.
ran. I planned my day.
I have more important things to do than hear you say goodbye.
Yeah, we don't need to say goodbye. We can just end it. Or we can say
Yep.
goodbye and end it. Bye everyone. Have a good weekend.
Bye everybody. Yep, have a good weekend.